Welcome to Retro Video Playback and episode 17 of Tape Talk Tuesday, an episodic video series where I showcase and discuss various movies on VHS. This week I'm taking a look at Martin Scorsese's Casino, starring Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Sharon Stone, the three actors who are prominently featured on the cover of the VHS. Above them, running across the top, are their names, which I'll point out, the names are appropriately lined up with each respective actor, which is not always the case. Below the names in small font it reads, "A Martin Scorsese picture," beneath which is Casino written in thin white font. The design of the Casino VHS gives the impression that it's a much darker movie than it is. Sure, by all accounts, Casino is a vulgar and violent movie. One of the last scenes of the movie is a tough watch for me no matter how many times I see it, and if you've seen Casino you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. But the movie throughout has a much more uppity feel despite its violent nature. The glittering lights of the casino and the choice of songs for the soundtrack set a certain tone for the movie, so to translate that to the movie cover I think it would make sense to at the very least have some shining casino lights in the background of the image. I like this design, but I also like the thought of something a little different. If you're a return viewer, you might be aware of my affinity for double-tape VHS releases. The spine of Casino has a nice large design, Casino written horizontally, and the photo from the front cover appearing vertically lower down on the spine. If this was a single tape release, I imagine the spine's image being a small close-up of one character, perhaps Robert De Niro on one spine and Joe Pesci on the other. This VHS looks great on the shelf, and the design, especially the picture, really stands out amongst the movies around it. The back of the box features 3 movie stills that make clear that the movie has a heavy focus on Las Vegas, as though the name being Casino wasn't already hint enough. We've got Robert De Niro as Ace Rothstein, the boss out on the casino floor, Joe Pesci as tough guy Nick Santoro at a table with a cigar and a perturbed look on his face, and Sharon Stone as the hustling vixen Ginger McKenna, winding up to throw some dice on the craps table, which is from her first full scene in the movie. Both tapes are the same, with paper labels and featuring Casino in the same typeface as the sleeve. As usual with a double tape VHS, the tapes are identified as Part 1 and Part 2. What gets me about Casino and Robert De Niro is that 1, it's just 5 years after Goodfellas, despite the fact that, to me, the movies seem a decade or more apart. 2, it was released the same year as Heat, so 2 incredible movies released not just within the same year, but within mere weeks of one another. And 3, Casino was released just 5 years before Robert De Niro appeared in Meet the Parents. Proof, if it was ever needed, that hair color and style can completely change or age or de-age a person. Although Casino is, as far as mainstream audiences go, probably the least popular, or at least the lesser known movie among the Robert De Niro movies I just cited, and the same goes for Martin Scorsese's vast library of movies, or as Marty would say, motion pictures, I hold it in high regard and it ranks somewhere among my top 20 movies of all time. I can't say that I make a point to watch it on VHS, but as it approaches its 30th anniversary later this year, it continues to be a visually impressive movie available on 4K Blu-ray since September 2019. With that, we find ourselves at the end of our discussion of Casino on VHS and the end of episode 17 of Tape Talk Tuesday. Thanks for watching Retro Video Playback.